all the beautiful people in the audience. My name is Tomaž, like it was said. I have quite controversial topic, so why governments shouldn't support social business. Maybe subtitle could be why it's good not to take their money, because I think no matter how much speeches do I deliver, they will support it anyway, so it's more up to you if you will take their investments or not. And of course, another subtitle, we were talking now in investments, why governments shouldn't invest in social and enterprises, and I will explain you a little bit later what is my opinion about that. This is a picture of me of a kitchen. In a kitchen, I was a manager in one social enterprise, which was a sandwich factory. We make sandwiches. We employ young dropouts. That means young people who were kicked out of school, and we offer them jobs and we teach them how to be a cook. Because when you're young and you are kicked out of school, you don't have any papers that you have education, you don't have any work experience, so you are quite vulnerable on the labor market. And we try with this social business, we try to build up their skills and to teach them how to be a cook. And cook in Slovenia, I think, is the third most wanted profession. So, I think they did a good job. So they made the sandwiches. It was like that. This one from with the beef, and this with the fish. And yeah, it's cool. Oh yeah. And the fun part was also, part of our social mission was to employ these young people. The other part was that all ingredients were made from the organic ingredients, and we established our business model was based on the delivery. So people call us and order sandwich like pizza, and we deliver these sandwiches with a bike. So no CO2 emissions, like the green delivery also. So these were our social part, and the business part was that we were making the sandwiches. So we were running a sandwich factory. And so we were founded by the government, and we failed big time. Yeah. And so today I just share my experience and tell you why we fail. I think if you ask me why don't take government's money, I think the first advice is don't take it because you will lose your focus. And the focus is really the most important thing in the beginning of your startup career. Okay, maybe your coworkers, it's even more important, but the second most important thing is focus. And if you take the government's money, I think you will lose focus. Maybe you ask why this doesn't work anymore. Yeah, maybe we can ask that. Emantas will help me. Maybe you will ask why you're losing focus. Okay, just another slide, please. I have two reasons for you. The first reason is bureaucracy. Because when you are financed by the government, that means you are financed by the taxpayer money, and the bureaucrats wants to do it all, transparent. And transparency for bureaucrats means that it's bureaucracy, For every little thing you buy, you must report to them. You must make a contract. You must pre-invoice ticket. You must have pre-invoice ticket, then invoice, then report what you do with the stuff, And it's crazy, We were making sandwich factory, and maybe 10% of the time I was really dealing with the sandwiches and our customers, and 90% was, this is my actual office, the Excel spreadsheets, some papers, also the software in which you put the scans of these invoices and stuff. So 90% I just spent in this office, and not dealing with sandwiches at all. So this is ridiculous. At the start, 100% of your focus must be on delivering value to your customers, and it can't be done if you must reporting all the time and click all the boxes. So this is the first reason why you can lose the focus. And the second reason is, this is the investor thing, the investor mind. Everyone who invests in your company get the feeling that they can advise you how to do it, and it's the same with the government. They give you money, and then they they try to advise you, you should do that, you should do this, but they don't businessmen, you know, they are employed in public sector, so sometimes it's very hard to deal with them because they think they know business, and because they invest in you, they thought, okay, now we will tell him how to do it. So this is the second reason, and last but not least, I want to warn you, because social enterprises are helping people, I have a feeling that some governments wants to, you know, by the investing in social enterprises, puts the burden of taking care of their people, of the inhabitants of the country, to the shoulders of social enterprises. Like, oh, we don't know how to do it, elderly people. Oh, we will invest in social business, and they will do it after us. You know, and I think this is quite a dangerous. It could be quite dangerous because it becomes the basic human rights, which will be provided by the state, become a business, become a social business, but it's still a business, you know. So you must be also very careful about taking investment. Maybe they try through the back door, they try to lose their responsibility, you know, and just say, oh, social business will do that instead of us. So be careful. What you should do with the government, I think you sell the products to them. You know, if you make the business with the government, this makes you equal. If you take the investment, this is unequal. If you take if you do the business with them, you know, they buy a lot of things. So this make you equal, and it's good. You know, to making business with the government, it's good. The investments, I think it's not so good. But if you take the money anyway from the governmental side, I advise you that you take from the part of the government who understand business. In Slovenia, we have special public agencies which have money to support business, and you know, they're employed people who actually understands what you are trying to do. So if you will take public money, try to take it with the part of the government which understand business and all the investment and idea making stuff. And I suggest you that you don't take the investments and you just take a word, you know, because when you take investment, they are full of advices and what you should do, what you should don't. If you take the award, it's better, you know, because they just give you money and say, okay, you have a goal, here's the money, do something with it. And these are two awards which are known in the European Union. One is Social Innovation Competition, one is Social Innovation Tournament. You can Google it. One is performed by European Commission, the other from European Investment Bank, and these are awards. So if you win, they just give you a certain amount of money and then say, okay, do something, you know. It's not like the investment where you have them in the process. What other options do you have if you decide not to take money from the government? The first thing, you can bootstrap. Maybe you heard about this, bootstrapping, or you can Google it, how to bootstrap my social enterprise, and you'll see. Basically, that means that you invest your own money to your enterprise. Now I have a consulting company and I bootstrap it, you know. I'm working in some other jobs. I was also the manager of the sandwich factory, and for every month from the part of my salary goes to invest in my company, and after a while I built these afternoon and weekends projects so big that I could survive just from performing it, and I quit all the other jobs and just start with my own company. So bootstrap means invest your money. The private funds, look, try to find private investor. Maybe your grandpa have a lot of money, and maybe she buy shares of Facebook, and now she can sell them and invest in your company, if you of course persuade them. I think a lot of investments goes around relatives, you know, like parents, brothers, sisters, maybe children are investing, you know. At first you try to collect money from the people you know. If you have like Silicon Valley idea, of course, a lot of investors and a lot of business angels all over the world just find them and they will invest in your company. But if you want to start social enterprise, I put here 3 major private foundations which invest in social business. One is Skoll Foundation. It's founded by Jeff Skoll, one of the founders of eBay. He just made a decision that he will invest all of his investing money to social business. So this is one part you could Google. The other is Ashoka. I suppose you heard of it. I think it's the biggest private fund in the world which supports social business. So you can try with that one. And also Tony Group is a network in about maybe 40 or 50 very rich people who decided to invest in social business. So you can Google it and just check if you fit in their investment schemes. The other way to get some money to start is, of course, crowdfunding and crowd investing. If you have like startup, if you have project for that kind of thing that you think that you could crowdfund it, you have start some good and StartX. These are two platforms which are dedicated to social business. So if you have social business project, you could maybe publish your campaign in these sites. Of course, if you have just a project for Kickstarter, you can start with a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I'm not sure for the Start Some Good, but StartNext also you can crowd invest your company, your social enterprise. So this is another way to start, to gain some money to start. And last but not least, social impact bonds are one of financial mechanisms how to start. Look, you have a private investor which invests in your company, but you promise the government, or let's say the city, that with your innovation, the city or the government will save some money, and this saving money goes back to investor. Let's say that you have a sandwich factory and you employ young dropouts and persuade mayor, look, if they are on the street, they will become drug addicts, they will become prisoners, they will destroy the city, so this all costs a lot of money. We will make the sandwich factory, we employ them, we prevent that not to happen. You will save some money because they will not demolish your city, and from savings this money, the mayor pays back to investor. So this could be also one quite good case to perform, okay? And this is the last case or the advice I show you. Just one more. Getting inspired in creative shock is not enough. Look, I perform a lot of workshops, I perform a lot of speeches, I perform a lot of lectures, and in the event people are very enthusiastic. They are very, oh, I really want to do that, I really want to do that. And I think it's the same with you. Now you have a weekend and a lot of adrenaline and a lot of new stuff is coming, but then comes the Monday, just the ordinary Monday, like it was ever before. And you know, I believe, if you don't have really good plan, how you will apply all this knowledge and all this new friendship, which you gain during these events, in the real life, in the regular morning, nothing really will happen, you know. But if you design a plan and you are start to executing, you will start to change yourself. And I think this is the most hard thing to do, to change yourself. And you need a lot of willpower, in the Monday morning. You will have to have a lot of willpower to start changing yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a lot of willpower.
Thank you very much, Tomaž. A very energetic presentation, so
thank you.
Hopefully
now I will just make one selfie, excuse me.
Sure. Everybody, your hands.
Yeah, just wave. Oh, thank you. Just a little bit more waving. Yeah, okay. Thank you. This is memory for my grandchildren.
Tell you, you just stole the idea from me. I was willing to do the same thing, but now it's not going to be as cool. So, tell you what, we still have some time for questions. And Tomáš comes from Ljubljana, which is in the center of Slovenia, and you can go anywhere within an hour. Following up to our previous
Welcome.
He was an advocate of everybody coming and joining and visiting him in Ljubljana, and I think one of the purposes for that visit would be seeing the social enterprise that Tomáš is running, and maybe getting inspired and getting the more willpower to continue with your own enterprise. So, ladies and gentlemen, your questions, please.
Will we get free sandwiches from your factory?
As far as I understood, that one went bankrupt. Right?
Yeah, look, like I said, we failed, but we failed really big time. We end up like in the half of everything because we are running out of money. You know, there is one thing about investing in governments. I didn't tell you. I will tell you now. When you sign the contract with the government, they actually don't give you money. You must get money from somewhere, then spend it, then report, and then they give you back. So we were failing because we didn't collect enough money for the first round to spend it and then to make it back from the government. So unfortunately our sandwiches are just existing on the pictures now.
I thought that was a situation of where you made a lot of sandwiches but couldn't sell it to anyone, so they still have sandwiches, even though...
Yeah, this is 2 years old.
Ladies and gentlemen, any further questions, please?
Even though you were talking about the government, the thing which caught my attention was the dropouts you employed. So what were the biggest challenges and what would be your advice for once you...
Okay, this is a good question. You know, because when you're a social entrepreneur, you want really to save a world. And say, oh, a lot of dropouts. Come on, we will help them, because you think that they really want to be engaged and want to be, but this is not like that, you know. We spent half a year just to persuade them that at the 8 in the morning, we really could start work, you know. Because they would drop out of school, you know. They were just, sometimes they appear, sometimes not. They stay in the pub, they just skip the school and stuff. They didn't have in mind this schedule. We start at 8, we end at 6, at 4. We must do something, we must show some results, you know. We have orders like 500, 1,000, 1,050 sandwiches. Come on, people, we need to work. And they just, oh, can I have just one cigarette before we start? And it was like, yeah, so it's, you know, I think when you are building social enterprises which include these vulnerable groups, it's not just, oh, I want to help them, I will save them forever. You know, you must be quite well educated, quite well equipped how to deal with this, with them. In other case, you can make even more trouble because they will resist and they will fight you, you know, like the schools, like the teachers in the schools. So you must really change everything that they feel that they could join. And every vulnerable group have different, you know, if you have disabled people, have different specifics. If you have dropouts, different. If you have ex-prisoners, different. You know, every group has a different different kind of things to solve, and you must be really prepared for this. But you know, in the end of the day, is an amazing feeling that you see that people who could end up on the street really do something great. You know, they know how to cook and go home and cook the lunch for their mothers, and mothers were crying. Oh, for the first time in my life, my son cooked me a dinner. You know, this is a huge stuff.
I see question over there.
How do you start a social business? Do you first hit the social issue and then make a business to solve that issue? Or you just start a business and think how you can make it social?
Yeah, I think the good way to start is to start a business and make it social, but of course we did it the opposite way, we did it all wrong. So we just thought, oh, we want to make a sandwich factory. Oh, which tender is here? And the Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs have one tender. We applied. we get 300,000 euros for performing 3 years, and then we start from scratch when we signed up the contract with the government. But I don't think this is a good idea. I think it's better to start and then try to do the social part and try to gain some money from the let's say also from the government. But start with your own, because like I say, focus is for the start is focus the most important thing.
Yes, please.
So finalist things will be solving the case all night. Can you give some tips and tricks and advice how to stay so energized and
Okay, I will tell you a strange thing, really strange thing, but I will tell you anyway. All you have 3 voices in your head, and these voices are quite enemy to you, and tell you certain things that you don't succeed, you are not able to do something. We all know it because when we are alone, we talk to each other, and these noises are quite are not cool. So the first thing you must do, just put these voices away. When you when you put these voices away and you really start to do what you want without any distraction. Oh, this could be wrong, this could go wrong. Oh, I will appear here in Lithuania. What they will think of me? Oh, what if I don't do proper English? You know, this is voices I'm talking about. You must put it away. And when you put it away, the real you comes out. You know, just pops out, and that's it. No sleeping, no nothing, just energy, you know? Just energy.
We still have quite sufficient time for other questions. Does anybody have any other questions? Yes, I see a hand over there, please.
Just to put the things in perspective, I'm curious if you ever drop out yourself, and what was the motivation to support the dropouts?
Okay, thank you for question. I'm not dropout myself. I'm a social worker. I have bachelor's in social work. So that means by my profession, I'm quite keen to people in need. So I think this was one part of my decision to join this social enterprise. And the other part was that I was really enthusiastic about social business, because I was like student. When I was student, I was organizing conference like this. I was running a lot of projects, you know, and this social work, strictly social work in the office, you know, with the computer and some printer and some boring stuff, was not for me. And when I heard about social business, that just combined this, what I love to do, you know, this business part, and this social part, what I was educated for. So this was just combined in the social business, and I was very enthusiastic about it. And this, I think, was the second part that I joined this sandwich factory. Yeah.
Any further questions? I can see a hand over there.
Questions.
Yeah. I'd like to challenge you a bit. I'm working in the food bank of Lithuania, so that's a non-government organization, and of course we have different sources of funding for our activities. Part of it are government funding, and like historically, food that's being provided by European Union and by state, along with its funding to support the logistics, are one of the essential streams of funding for such organizations as ours, yes? And we have the same challenges as you told. Yeah, the bureaucracy, the money goes after you've done things and so on. But we managed to work with that in the sense that we, you know, supplementing the revenue streams from different sources, yeah?
Okay.
So, challenge for you, can you explain what happened that your sandwich factory failed? You mentioned that it failed because the government funding was not that you wanted to be, but in my opinion, you should have, as a manager, worked that way, that you should predict that and, you know, still float above this.
Yeah, of course I should predict that, yeah. But you know, people make mistakes all the time. I think every success is made out of failures. And of course, this was my greatest failure that, you know, I thought, oh, we will something figure it out. Oh, well, something will appear, but actually it's not. So, like I said, we failed because we didn't have this amount of money before financing the project. And you have two questions. Can you repeat another one?
Yeah. So what was your plan in general, or you didn't have a plan?
No, we didn't have a plan.
Yeah. So
we didn't have a plan B.
Yeah. So guys, for all the students who are listening, so please have a plan if you have a social enterprise, and don't think that the government or someone else will give you the funding and you will be just happy doing the things you want to be doing. Yeah. So thanks.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's really great point. You must have a plan. Like I say, you must have a plan also for the Monday morning, the depressing Monday morning. This is the first plan you should make. And of course, for every business, you should have plan A, plan B, plan C. And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't have. So, but we learned something from it, and we do it now differently. And I think this is the most important way that you learn, and maybe tell others that they do all the exact same mistake. So that's why I'm here today, to tell you my failure story, and maybe you can learn something from it and try to do ABCDEF plans.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, thank you for our speaker.